Good afternoon. Welcome to the press conference for Novak Djokovic. Please raise your hand if you would like to ask a question. Novak, great match out there. Just give us your thoughts on your performance.
Yeah, I'm very, very pleased with the performance. From the very first point of the get-go, I was really sharp. Didn't really want to give Dan a chance to come back to the match, and I really, try to, pressure him constantly from the back of the court. And I think serving, I served very well and very accurately, opening up the court. Just every shot today worked very well, so it was good to, great to feel that way and play that way. Obviously, crowd wanted more of a match, and we're trying to back him up in the third. But I felt like the early break in that set and also in the second just helps gain the momentum and not really allow the energy to kind of shift to his end.
David?
Hi there, Novak. Thinking back a year ago when you'd had the surgery coming into this tournament, in every press conference, I think we inevitably ended up talking about that.
Yeah.
How much different do you feel right now compared to how you did, say, at the same stage last year, which still reached the final?
Well, it's true that last year, particularly in the early rounds, I was still, doubting whether the knee will hold up or whether I was able to, slide or do my movement as freely as I want. So there is difference in that. This year, I'm not obviously thinking about the knee. Neither do I have any other major physical issue to think about in that sense. Of course, there's always something every day, that you address minorly, but overall body is in a very good shape.
Obviously, you were talking about your health. I mean, a couple of nights ago, you were like a completely different person to today. I just wondered, how has the last couple of days been for you? And also, could I have a word about how Dan performed today and your thoughts on the plans to transform Wimbledon? If they do not go ahead, will Wimbledon still be able to be at the pinnacle of the sport?
Okay, there's three questions.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's start.
Take one of those.
Let's start. Well, a couple of nights ago we finished very late, and obviously I did have some stomach issues that really affected also the way I felt on the court. Today, obviously, a completely different story. I felt great. From the start to the end, as I explained in my previous answer, I played almost flawless tennis that always is very welcome in the Grand Slams or anywhere you play. So of course it's a great joy to be able to feel that way on the court. In terms of Dan's performance, I knew that he's going to keep on fighting and believing that he can come back into the match, which he has done. He was 2-0 and 4-0 down. He still was shouting "come on" after winning a point and trying to get the crowd involved, and which is normal, and it's he was really doing his best. I saw that he was also moving slower maybe in the third set. I don't know if he had something physically bothering him, but I think I've done everything the right way, and even better than I expected, to be honest. So I didn't really give him a chance to play good tennis, because I was really sharp in every element or segment of my game. In terms of expansion of Wimbledon, I think we talked about it last year. I am personally sad to see that this hasn't been resolved yet, and I'm very supportive of that. I think it's great for the community. It's great for London, for our sport. So I don't know all the details of the project, but I've seen a little bit and have talked with the main people of this club, and to me it seems like a project that can only it's a win-win, to be honest. So if it doesn't go through, it will be a shame, but at the same time I don't think it can greatly negatively impact Wimbledon and what Wimbledon represents to our sport. I think Wimbledon as it is already is a sacred tournament, a tournament that everybody wants to win or play in. So that this is only a bonus, only something that will definitely get it to even a higher level of recognition.
Tumaini.
The quality of balls has been quite a big topic on the tour last couple of years, and some players saying that they deteriorate more, that maybe they fluff up more. I remember you kind of referenced it when you were hitting with Carlos, so I'm curious about your thoughts on it. You're probably better kind of positioned to understand how they've changed over kind of a long period of time, so yeah.
Yeah, they are. Honestly, that's probably the biggest difference I can notice comparing to maybe 10, 15 years ago. It's the balls. Also, the Schlesinger balls that are used here in Wimbledon are good quality balls, but they do fluff up earlier or sooner than the ones that we used 10 years ago or 15 years ago. So I don't know whether it's related to the manufacturing facility, production of the balls, whether there's something in place there that changed, or I don't think it's a grass. I think there's consistency with the way Wimbledon prepares grass courts. So I would doubt that there's any big changes there, to be honest. I think it's just balls that are, slowing the game down to some extent, and it's allowing the players whose game is based on a baseline and play with a lot of spin to be able to play good tennis and make good performances and success here in Wimbledon or other grass court tournament that wasn't maybe the case before. Still grass remains the fastest surface in our sport. You still get quite a few more points on the free points on the first serve. If you're serving well, you still get rewarded. But it is true that it's easier to play on from the baseline nowadays than it was the case early in my career.
Dan?
Novak, after the match, Dan said he's not sure how many more occasions like today he's going to have. But obviously, in your post-match TV interview, you were talking about you're not ready for margaritas with Roger and Rafa yet on the beach. Can you expand on that lovely mental image a bit? but also talk about how much confidence a performance like today's gives you that you can do something very special.
I don't know why I said margaritas, because I never had margarita in my life. I don't necessarily like that drink, but I guess it sounds good. I do imagine that particularly the three of us. I mean, I do wish that one day we'll, in a more relaxed environment, reflect on the rivalries and everything that we've achieved and made for this sport. I think it would be great for us, and I think for all the other people, knowing that we got together. So as far as Evans's future, I'm not sure. Obviously, I don't know what's on his mind, but I saw some of the interviews where he got more emotional before the Wimbledon started. And look, it's not easy out there, to fight and grind and build your ranking and try to, be as highly ranked as you were before in his case. Or if you're not able to move as well as you've done before, you still feel it in your hands, but maybe your body is not giving you that speed and agility that you were looking for, or that you had for many years. And I'm just making things up here. I don't know exactly what's going on with Dan, but
it's more about you. Performance like today, do you still believe you can do something really special this fall?
Well,
because of that?
Absolutely. I mean, if I play like today, I feel like I have a very good chance against anybody, really, on the center court of Wimbledon, a place where I maybe feel the most comfortable on any court. Rod Laver Arena and Wimbledon center court are, the two courts where I've done so well throughout my career, and I felt great physically, mentally sharp, and game-wise, playing as well as I can, really, on grass. So hopefully I can keep it up. I met Gael Monfils in the locker room, and he's waiting for his match. So he kind of smiled at me and says, "Good day in the office." It's like at this age, he said, at this age we need those types of days. And so of course it's great. You want to keep on playing this way, but it can be only one day, one match. Tomorrow can be, or in 2 days can be a different story. I don't know. So I'm just trying to be cautious and keep it going. But yeah, aspirations and objectives are very high, you know, to go all the way.
Okay, just one more English question. Laura.
Novak, it's a question about your celebration. I know that the other day you answered in Serbian about it, that it's something with your kids about
Yeah.
some songs.
Yeah.
But there is speculation that this pumping gesture is potentially a political one. Could you clarify that for us, please?
As I mentioned to the Serbian journalist, you know, it's something between me and my children. So we have a song. It's called "Pump It Up." So I don't know how many of you guys know that. It's quite an old song, but good rhythm. And so yeah, we're pumping. We love pumping. So we pump after every win.
Okay, thank you very much.
Sorry?
Is it the Elvis Costello song?
I don't know the. Maybe you know better. I don't know the name of the artist, but no, pump it up. Don't you know? Pump it up. You got to pump it up. It's more of a upbeat, you know,
We'll move on to Serbian now.
disco
Thank you.
song.
Serbia